Hey everyone, it is Cindy. It is where the rubber meets the road. I have to look at the calendar. According to the calendar on the computer, it says it is September 8th of the year 2025. And before I get started, I just want to remind everyone here that you are cordially invited to an Open Doors very first Open Door half day, which is taking place on September 21st. It's in this Zoom room. It's going to go from noon to 4. You can come and go as you want, but it'd be neat for you to come and just hang. And we're also having I don't know what to call it. We're having a prep meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, and we're just going to talk about how we see those 4 hours going and get your input because it's our open door half day. Um, and so would love for you to come to that too. So I opened the book at random this week. It was kind of cool to open the book at random and to be lit up and to be reminded that I am essential to God's plan for salvation, right? Whatever I am, doesn't matter, but my part is essential. And what is my part? My part is to allow my smile to light up everywhere I go, right? So I'm going to read a little. I'm going to play the song that's lighting up for me these last couple of days that helps to bubble up this joyous feeling inside. I'm going to share a little bit more about what's alive for me and literally how it all kind of, um, you'd almost want to say that there's a universal intelligence that has created the, what's the word, has created our learning experiences and what we're studying because there's a whole bunch relative to the guides that we're listening to this afternoon that relates to my experience of this. And I've already listened to Thursday and Stephen Young, and he really kind of lit up my happy in a little bit. I mean, I don't have any new teachers per se, but there's some ways that he shared um, that is informing my connection with this with this teaching. And even Amy, before we hit the record button, was talking about how there are things in Kat's book, who we talked about last Thursday, that all kind of more and more, I'm just knowing that this is a tapestry. I've been really loving that word. All these different threads that are coming together and forming this moment. So God, my part is essential to God's plan for salvation. God's will for us is perfect happiness. That's it. There's a period at the end of that statement. And then literally, like, what part of me wants to argue that, which is very interesting. There's no justification or defense or conversation. There's just a node, a natural unfolding. And even Kat was saying this inquiry just came naturally in me at some point. And that's one of the places that the inquiry has just been popping up here. Like, what part of me wants to argue what's going on in this moment? Because literally, all suffering comes from this belief that this moment should be different somehow, right? And if you let go of just that one idea and instead accept every single moment as the gift that it is, there's a natural happiness or joy that bubbles up, even in the quote unquote worst of times, the knowing that there's such a beautiful gift and opportunity in this pain or this celebration or this storm or this peaceful, easy feeling, whatever it is. And then the next thing on my notes here is this line. And I almost followed it into the New Testament and into NTI, but I didn't. My joy or our joy or your joy must be complete to make his plans be understood by those to whom he sends you. Man, I got a lot to say. And Nadega, I see your hand up. I just want you to know I'm going to say a few things. I'm going to play a song. I'm going to say a few more things. Andrew's going to share, and then your hand is going to be, um, then we're gonna say hello. I want to say, I'm about to play the song. So, a big part of what this line lights up for me, and I'll probably say it again after the song, is what I am learning from spending time with Joel Goldsmith, what I'm learning by spending time with all of you, what I'm learning from the guides is that as the vibration rises here, then as I walk around in the world and just show up as me, I'm doing God's work. As the vibration rises here and my happy and my smile and my giggle just comes naturally, then those for whom I am meant to serve show up in my space. And as I continue to just sort of choose to be my natural, happy, ooh, why am I here? And how can I serve space? The serve God's will or the divine will or the universal will is served. It's not served because I'm using my thinking mind trying to figure out how to fix what's broken. There's no more of that. It's simply the more I just allow myself to be what I am in this moment, and I say yes to this work over and over and over again, the more the world is served through me, by me, etc., for me. It doesn't really matter. So, for me, Mooji represents that. Like sometimes I could just listen to him laugh, and something in me shifts. We're not listening to Mooji laugh right now, but this is a song this is a song that I've been coming back to over the last couple of days that activates that sense of okayness and joy and happy in me. And that's what serves God the best. That's what this lesson says. In order for me to do my part, I have to allow myself to feel good now. So enjoy. Allow yourself to sink in and just enjoy for a few minutes. Here we go.
Thank you for the air that I can breathe. Thank you for these songs you've given me. Thank you for the times I couldn't see. Now we're free. Thank you for this simple life I know. Thank you for the pain of letting go. Thank you for the times I felt alone. Now we're home. And I don't want to waste, I won't give up. I don't want to taste, I've had enough. Everybody knows there's only love. There's only love now. Thank you for this holy family. Thank you, my beloved Guruji. Thank you for this peace and harmony. Let it be. Thank you for my son, you saved his life. Thank you for the suffering and strife. Thank you for the times I couldn't fight in your life. And I don't wanna waste, I won't give up. I don't wanna taste, I've had enough. Everybody knows there's only love. There's only love now. There's only love.
Okay. My part is essential to God's plan for salvation. God's will for us is perfect happiness. Our joy must be complete to make his plans be understood by those whom he sends to you. Those he sends to you. When I say yes, as we continue to say yes to this work, the light that we are, the joy that we are, fills us and becomes more available to the world, and just our beingness within that light does our work and becomes our purpose. It's extraordinary to me. The guides teach that very clearly. They state, you go to the upper room, you are in agreement to allowing the constructs that were created in fear to be reclaimed, transfigured without the fear. You give yourself willingness to not know what that looks like, since every part of your being and your history has been built in some level of fear. So where we're moving to is not known by where we were. So we give our willingness to be reknown without that vibration of fear. And as we continue to simply give our willingness to that, we start vibrating in higher and higher frequencies. And then literally, even as we walk, the guides say it a lot, as we walk the streets, as we think of people, as we interact with people in the dentist and in the supermarket, we talk about it here all the time. Just who we be and how we vibrate touches those we interact with. I spend time every week with Joel Goldsmith too, and he teaches the same thing. He says, you don't even pay attention. As soon as somebody asks for your help, and turns in my direction, the healing occurs, simply because in my space, no one is broken, no one is hurt. So the entire infinite way in Joel Goldsmith teaching is that just continue to empty of everything that is of two powers, and trust the teachings. And Nisargadatta Maharaj, who I just spent the last 4 weeks with, says, I trusted the guru and rested as I am, and everything else takes care of itself. Without our smile, the world cannot be saved. I love that teaching. In Cindy's history, without going into any details, because it doesn't even feel like it's my history anymore, I was often told that I have no right to be happy because, You can't be happy if you literally, I've had my mother tell me I have no right to relax and be happy because I don't have enough money to pay my bills. It's like a direct kind of communication that was received by the world. I was taught that I can't be happy because my children are unhappy. I was taught I cannot be happy because my sister is going through something rough or the world is going through something rough. And if you're truthful, you will see evidence of that in the world as it is. The teaching teaches, the teachings we spend time with, and the course tells us, and Sandra's told me more than once that the course is true, and I believe her. She's part of my guru, which means that the course teaches us that that's the world of the ego. And as long as I hold that as a belief structure, that I can't be happy unless the world I see is happy. That's what the history has taught me. I am now being taught that my happiness, my simply being happy, because that's the natural state of things, that's God's will. And the more I rest is that, the natural state of being, that knowing that this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. This is exactly the experience I'm meant to have. That's really the happiness, this stillness, this knowing that all is right in the world. That blesses the world. Without our smile, the world cannot be saved. It's when we choose to trust the guru and we choose to trust these teachings and allow them to inform us that the world starts to represent that. God's messengers are joyous, and their joy heals sorrow and despair. This is where the undoing is happening here over and over and over again. This is the stickiness that Cindy feels. How often, how often am I pulled into somebody else's upsetness? Or in my head, I'm told, now don't be too happy here because they're going to be pissed off. I heard myself say to someone after a diet just this morning, perhaps my joy is designed and meant to trigger other people's egos, because once they're lit up and brought to consciousness, they can dissolve. And I can notice where in here, that's supposedly a problem. I don't want to trigger somebody else. Well, maybe that's what I'm here to do. Allow my happiness, my joy, my peacefulness in this moment to trigger, light up everywhere in this world that we see places where people are saying, you ain't allowed to be happy. The world sucks. And I get to hold this space that says, my happiness brings happiness to the world. Again, the reverse, right? I got it. It's Sandra's voice in my head that keeps telling me that the course is true. It's just true, right? And the course teaches that the world I see out there is the opposite of the truth. It's designed to keep the ego fed. I don't want to feed a part of this space that tells me that I'm supposed to be miserable. I'm choosing, and I'm inviting all of us to choose to understand that choosing to accept just this teaching, if all we do is work with lessons 100, 101, 102, and decide they're true, then God's will for me is perfect happiness. And who am I to deny God's will? We are wrong, quote unquote, wrong. And I quoted that because I don't love the word wrong, but that's what was in the lesson. We are in error. We are misguided. We are wrong in the belief that sacrifice is asked. And literally, we were talking about a little bit before I hit the record button. Like this idea that surrendering into God's will is a sacrifice. Who thinks, where does that idea come from? That's, God is all. God wills for me perfect happiness, right? He doesn't will for me to be a martyr. He doesn't will for me to be like Peter and, hang up on the cross upside down because I'm not even worthy to be, tortured like his Savior was. He wills my happiness. And it was funny, as I was going into this next part of the lesson, I heard, no, Amy will take care of this. So you don't have to start writing it all down like the self. This next part of the lesson says, look deep within to find the joy, the self that you are. I didn't write the specific quote, but it's a non-dual aspect, right, Amy? This is a non-dual part of this teaching. It's not asking me to trust a God that isn't me. It's literally saying, look deep within yourself and you discover your capital S self. And in that discovery, the joy just bubbles up. Just stop 5 minutes twice a day and allow the joy to just bubble up. And I got to tell you, that's what happened to me this morning. I was in enough of a scattered place when I started preparing for this lesson that I very physically felt the shift. Sadness arising. So this is the hiccup where, we've had conversations, and Livy and I were having a conversation briefly before this started. So it says you're not permitted, like this languaging doesn't necessarily work for me. I'm not saying it's wrong. It just activates parts of my inside that aren't as useful as what I'm about to say. So sadness, it says you can't permit sadness. For me, it's understanding that experience arises, but to no one in particular. And we've had these experiences before. So what I'm no longer choosing to believe in is the statement, I am sad, or my life sucks, or this is my experience is hard. Those are words that create, and if you listen to Dr. Stephen Young, he keeps talking about boxes, how not nouns create boxes. And part of his teaching is to limit the number of nouns you use, which is really cool in this teaching. So sadness arises. Sadness is here and it's arising, but to no one in particular. The moment I step into that experience, there's this allowing the sadness to be. And it can be held. Sandra and I've had conversations, and I've heard her teach on this before. Both are here. I can't explain it, but both are here. There is this ground of being that's always here. And when the sadness or the intense experience, whatever it is, it rises within it. And when I don't sit there and say, this is me, this is a problem, it shouldn't be happening, X, Y, Z, however that arises, then there is like this aliveness is what was coming there's this deep aliveness that allows that experience to be fully expressed, because it ain't mine. It's just minds of fully experience in the moment. And when you do that, when you allow yourself to eat it all right now, then it doesn't land. You don't have to save it for later. It just the guides in the channeling we're going to listen to this afternoon, it works really well for me. They use the metaphor of the dirty lampshade. So I be the light. Dr. Stephen Young literally said, I don't call myself human anymore because there's all these boxes. I'm a divine being. I be the light. I am a divine being. I am that which was never born and will never die. And then there's this dirty lampshade. And it's sticky. In my world, it's also sticky. The world will stick to it and create more fingerprints and stuff. The lampshade is part of what creates these experiences. And as we continue to hang out in the upper room and allow experiences to come and completely trust that it's for us, right? Nadego, that's Nadega's voice. Everything is a gift. Everything is for me. This experience is for me. Then the lampshade gets cleared and cleaned, but I'm not even paying attention because I'm just so fully in the moment. So, let it be fully expressed in the knowing yourself as the light and not the pain. The full expression of what is arising without identifying with it releases it. And the words, this is an awareness game. that has been showing up in my space is include, 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 include. And it's a Nisargadatta Maharaj kind of teaching from these last 4 weeks too. And I think Michael Singer has taught it, others have taught it, Einstein has taught it. You either and Richard has taught it. Either it's everything or nothing. The suffering comes from judging, saying this is good and this is bad, this is good and this is bad. And that's a guide. The teaching of the guides too is the suffering comes from where we're denying the God or the divine in the experience. And so I include, 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 and know it is all divine. And then that keeps it in the flow. And I don't have to stop and identify as any part of the poor me story. The last thing on my notes before I hand this over to Andrew is the other thing. What do I do at the end of Dr. Young's teaching? He pointed back to the Ho'oponopono prayer, and he uses it actively in his practice. And he said he practiced it for a long time, and then he went and got certified. And the shift in his awareness was that before he went and got certified, he was assuming he was doing the prayer towards the incident. But he said that the only place this prayer is designed to, it's a communication between you and the creator. So you literally are, dear Lord, or creator, or universe, whatever it is, I am so sorry that I've been denying you in this experience. Just that simple. I am so, so very sorry that something here has been limiting your expression in this experience. I mean, I'm crying even as I sink into this. And then it's like the next line in the prayer is, please forgive me. If I was a better course student, maybe I'd love that word forgiveness. I still have, there's something here about it, but please allow forgiveness to happen. Please help me release this. Please forgive me. Thank you. And that thank you it's sort of like that song. He was saying, thank you for my suffering. Thank you for the joy. Thank you for the pain of. Thank you for the sunrise and everything. It's thank you for everything. Because I am a student of the guides, instead of just saying I love you, it's I am in love, I am of love, I am with love. Love is all there is. And Dr. Young was talking about using this prayer just sort of as a cleansing. He was said for 2 weeks, he used it 30 hours a day, and it opened a channel for miracles, which is extraordinary. So I'm going to surrender the mic to Andrew, with just this words, this teaching is true. And how does your experience of this moment change if you decide to trust it, as opposed to argue, like decide to listen to the part of you that knows that God's will for you is perfect happiness and you never left your source, and so it's your will too. And you can have the voice that tells you it's something different than that. Be forgiven and recognize that this moment, however it feels, is a gift, because in the moment of seeing where you've been denying the divine, you can offer it up to consciousness and let it shift. And you are precious, and you are divine, and you are essential to this moment, and you're essential to me, and you're essential to God's plan. Thank you. Hey, Andrew.
Hello, Cindy. Hello, everyone. I love you all. Uh, this is definitely one of those feel-good lessons. What could be better than God's will is perfect happiness for us? Uh, yeah, I love it. Now, the ego has a version of happiness, but in this world of duality, happiness has to have an opposite. It has to have sorrow, fear, anger, all these other emotions. So, what does Jesus mean by God's will for us is perfect happiness? It's a different kind of happiness. Somewhere in the course it says uh, joy, peace, happiness, atonement, all have the same meaning. And what it comes down to is it's finding that inner peace that comes with believing that you are an eternal spirit. Uh, Nothing can harm you. You are one with everything. There's nothing outside you that can harm you. And you can always, with practice, reach that inner peace in this world, no matter what's going on around you. But you just have to remember, the world gets busy, you get involved with things, and you sort of forget the course's lessons. And uh, you can always get back to it, though. You can always find that inner peace. That's it. I wish I could enunciate like you, Cindy, but I don't. I get tongue-tied.
I'm so glad you don't enunciate like Cindy. I feel so blessed every time you share. If you attempted anything else, then we would all miss out.
Thank you.
How's your hearing in your ears? Is it all back to
Oh, yeah, I go for a follow-up, but my ear is perfectly fine now. I can hear it good. No pain. Thank you.
very, very good. All right, Nadego, the floor is yours, my friend.
Hi, everyone. So great. So great to be here. I just love being here so much. And even forgetting, like I do like my morning practice, and I forgot. And that's actually perfect because I know that everything is here for me, whatever's happening. So yeah, it's just, to me, it's just such a gift to be here and for everything that's happening. So yeah, and I just love being here with all of you. It's the best thing ever. So I'm speechless, and I'm just so grateful. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nadego. You are a gift to all of us, or to me anyway. Um, love. Amy.
Good morning, everyone. I love being here. It's so great to see you. Cindy, that was a really beautiful summation. Every time I thought, well, there might be something else to say, you said it in the next sentence. I especially loved your saying, experience arises, but to no one in particular. When I first really got this lesson, the first time I read it, I resisted it because I wasn't perfectly happy all the time. I still am not perfectly happy all the time, and that's perfect. I didn't realize what perfect happiness was. I thought it meant I should be happy all the time. And if I'm not, then I'm doing it wrong. Until I realized that I don't know anything at all about perfection. And because I don't know, I can't judge. And so maybe I can let go of my own personal definition of what personal happiness is and just do an Ndego and trust that everything is arising for me and that it's all perfect. And I can just be happy with that. I can be happy in my trust. I can be happy in my knowing that it's all for me and that it's always all been for me, and that in this moment now, everything is perfect and okay. and sometimes even more than okay. And the lesson, my part is essential to God's plan for salvation. I love this because what lights me up is looking at the Course from a non-dual perspective over and over and over again. It just takes me deeper and deeper into it. Because if we look at what salvation is, it's the recognition of oneness. That's what salvation is. So my recognition of oneness is essential to oneness, right? My understanding that I am one with all is essential to being one with all. It's essential to the all. It's not better than anyone else's. It's not different than anyone else's. It's the same as everyone else's. And it's divine in the sameness. So, perfect happiness. When I discovered what perfect happiness really meant, it really lit me up. And I thought, okay, now I'm kind of getting this now. And anyway, thank you, Cindy, for this teaching and for your presence and everybody else. And Dago, I just wanted to shout out to you what a magnificent teacher you have been for me. I think of you every day, multiple times a day. It's all for me. It's all for me. Not me, little me, but it's all for me as this, which is part of all of it. And you're such a beautiful teacher. See you all in the next minute.
As I was listening to you, Amy, two things came up, and I'm going to read them both before I hand things over to Libby. The first is perhaps one of the most oftenly quoted parts of the Course. Heard it over and over and over again. This simple, what could you not accept if you but knew that everything that happens, all events, past, present, and to come, are gently planned by one whose only purpose is your good. Perhaps you have misunderstood his plan, for he would never offer pain to you, but your defenses did not let you see his loving blessings shine in every step you ever took. While you made plans for death, he led you gently to eternal life. And this is, it just comes up, sadness is happening, grief is happening. And to be able to be present for that when it arises in me or in others, part of my motivation here is I recognize I could be really effective in holding space for people that are going through really hard times.
Yeah, you
unless,
can.
Unless they're my children.
Mm.
And that is becoming easier. When my children, a year ago, when my children were going through a really hard time, it would not, I believed it.
Yep.
And I became much less effective.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, my children can suffer even though nobody else could. How insane is that, right? That's an insane egoic thought. But in recognizing that was what was happening, it helped loosen that attachment to their happiness as something that was essential. The other thing,
Can I say one more thing?
uh-huh.
And thank you for that. I want to ask folks their experience, and this may be part of the September half day. As this is my experience, as I become more and more, as I release the personal Amy more and more, as I release that and spend more time in just just the witness of what's coming up and letting it come up and being with it, as the aware presence, just letting it come up. It feels like things are becoming more and more transparent. Like I am becoming more and more transparent. And I can't explain it, but Livy, you're shaking your head, yes. So maybe you'll say more about that. It's almost like everything is just getting lighter. And I don't mean lighter in terms of it, just the burden and the heaviness of being human is, I don't know, Jim Self described it like peeling the old paint off the house, you know, just peeling the old paint off. And anyway, that I just wanted to share that. It's such a blessing.
And that the other line, and then I'll hand things off, comes from lesson 100. Salvation must reverse the mad belief in separate thoughts and separate bodies, which lead separate lives and go their separate ways. One function shared by separate minds unites them in one purpose, for each one of them is equally essential to them all. We're doing this together, folks. We're part of the tapestry. All right, Livy, it's all yours.
What a fabulous meeting. I'm so getting so much from what everybody is sharing, and I'm so grateful to be in a position to where I understand a little more. And yeah, just it seems lately, especially it's happened in the morning, but when I sense, and I'm grateful to understand that if it's busy and tight here or tight here, that's my ego is leading the way. And I've gotten to where I just pause and take a few minutes just to sit with and just allow everything as it is so that I can get clearer guidance for me on what my next step is to be. And what's coming up for me is one thing that's really helping me in the understanding of, and yes, I ditto Amy Nindago. Thank you so much for your teachings, and the recognition that not only is oh God, not only is everything for me, I can trust that everything is happening for everyone I love. And it's taken that awareness a time to get to me because I see family members suffering. And, as y'all have heard me mention before, I want to put my cape on and sweep in and seeing the joy in my great grand nieces and nephews and I don't want them to lose, not wanting them to experience pain and then it's like everything is happening for everyone I love. Why would I want to deny them their experience? Why would I want to deny them their journey into the recognition of everything is for me? And why wouldn't I want, and I, that has helped lift a lot. Why would I want to hang on to a resentment towards one of my sisters when the guidance is truly to love with understanding and not putting myself in a position to the word boundaries is the only words I know, how to really love fully with boundaries and for myself to be guided with, and I really pause to wait for what the next action is because I do acknowledge that I'm being lived. and to just wait for what the next movement is supposed to be. But just the recognition that everything is happening for everyone I love has just been wonderful for me to be in the world with. And so I do find that there is happiness in pain. There is happiness in, for me, there's just freaking happiness in feeling, because I didn't want to feel. For so long, I did not want to feel. And I stuffed and I did really stupid behaviors just to not feel. And I'm grateful today to understand the process of feeling and the process of processing feelings. And I don't have to do any of that alone. And just with the recognition and all the guidance that I get from y'all, I'm just deeply, deeply grateful for. So thanks for letting me share, and just thank y'all so much. I sure do love all y'all.
I love us all too. Thank you, Libby. Sandra.
Hello. This is so beautiful. I'm loving this very much. Thank you, everyone. Oh, what was I going to say? So, this is just, you've already highlighted everything that I would have said about this. And then I was doing this other reading that I read, David Hawkins' Daily Words, Daily. And on September the 4th, he said, learn that the source of happiness is within. It stems from recognizing that this source is the joy of one's own existence. And that really went deep for me. Existence. I exist. And I'm now existing in a way that I get to feel all of those things. I get to feel happiness, yes. I also get to feel sadness. I know I've said this before, but I have to say it again, I get to feel, what was the word you just used, Libby? I can't remember. It's like perfect happiness, perfect joy is who we are. And we've been given this incredible gift called life, the human life. There's life beyond the human life, I know, but we've also been given this gift of being. Did you notice the name of the song that was up there? I love the name of the song. The song was Heart Beats from the Bliss of Being. Heart from just the bliss of being. And it's like knowing this and experiencing it is lighter, Amy. I feel that same thing. It's not that I stop feeling. It's almost like I do witness, but I also lean into it. I'm not witnessing to distance myself from it. I did try that for a while, by the way. But I get to feel that now. And somehow it's not, and I think that's what the Course is trying to say on one of those pages where it says, don't go into the sadness or whatever. It's different. It's different. I can enjoy it. I can surrender to it. It's like, I like surrender more than accept, because surrender is like, lay down your arms, lay down all this stuff, just lay it down and be it. Because this incredible life this bliss of being in the body I'm talking about now is not going to last. This is just a little time and little experience. And so I have a pain in my back. Okay, I get to be in a body now and I get to feel all the things that a body feels. It doesn't mean I am the body. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying this is a temporary experience. And the bliss of it is seeing it when I finally saw, oh, I'm not trying to run away from this experience anymore. I am free and I am unlimited by the way in which I experience the experience. And that means that what I used to label a negative emotion, and now I can actually appreciate it for what it is and know and understand that I'm not failing because I feel these things. I'm not less spiritual because I feel these things. I feel these things because of who I am in essence. And I want to feel these things. I think that I used to be like in a wrestling match with my ego about trying to get it to stop, but it doesn't stop. And now it's no more, it's like surrender. Feel it while knowing what it is. Oh, wish I could describe it more. So this life is no longer a burden. It's not something that we were dropped into to somehow just survive and get out of it and then awaken to who you are. No, I don't see it that way anymore. It's like I can embrace it. I can embrace it. And that's where I think the joy bubbles up. The joy bubbles up, just the bliss of being, and when we talk about the bliss of being, we talk about the joy and nature and how beautiful everything is. We don't talk about, and we get to feel sadness, and we get to have tears and compassion because we feel sadness. And we get to taste ice cream, but that's not, it's all of it. And Amy keeps bringing us back to it's one. So I think I get that. Because when I'm with you, I feel that. And I get to then, I think with children, that's the heart, like the last frontier for me, the children. Well, it's, yes, bring that same knowing to them in their lives. And they get to do this. My granddaughter went to high school for the first time. You know how hard it is for a little girl to go off to high school. She's in the 9th grade. And she put purple strands in her hair because she thought that was cool. She had these purple strands. So I went over to her house yesterday. She was crying, like really distraught that some of the purple strands were fading. And she wasn't going to look cool anymore. And I was just love her. And I said, oh, wow, you get to see what it feels like to be a young girl trying to impress everybody with how you look. I mean, I wasn't being sarcastic. I was honest with her. And she goes, oh, yeah, I guess I do. It didn't take away her feelings. It's not supposed to. Oh, I think I've talked too long now. No, not too long, just long enough.
Thank you, Sonia.
Because my part is essential to God's plan for salvation.
It certainly is. Thank you. Julie, you're on.
All right. Hello, hello, hello. Oh my gosh. Love being with you all too. Everything everyone has said is like ditto. It just really resonated with everything I'm learning just in these rooms and then in my AA world. And I read something the other day and I almost sent it to Rana and Livy yesterday. And it said what we're talking about. It said the moment you see both the pain and the gift and what happened to you, you're free. That's when trauma turns into wisdom. And that's when the healing really sticks. And I was like, whoa, that's what we're talking about. Learning, that I have to feel it. And I see that through the pain that I've gone through all these years and now the joy in realizing I had to go through that and it's all God's will. And like all you guys said, it's for me. And I have to always remember that for me. Because this couldn't come at a better time. Like I shared with you last week that we're moving, not tomorrow, but we're getting our house ready, got people coming over and so yesterday I was out in the yard and I was trimming my butterfly bushes and I'm not a green thumber. So this is all new to me, deadheading. And I didn't really trim it, perfect, the perfection in me. And so there's some gaps that I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to see this. But the cool thing about it was this beautiful butterfly came right next to me and was feeding on the bloom. And it was a monarch butterfly and it was so big, the wings. And I just stood there next to it, just like, this is so cool. And that helped me realize that, it isn't about the bush has to be perfect. It's all about here feeding this little butterfly and the butterfly is thanking me and he's right next to me or she is. And that I kept on thinking it's God, God. And that really helped that moment. So I just want to share that I'm continually in awe with all of you when you share your wisdom. And it gives me the hope that one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, I'm getting this. And I like when I see that you're human too. We're all in this together, but it's just the love in these rooms is just phenomenal. And I'm just grateful that even when I move, I'll still get to be on these because it's Zoom. And that's another gift, no matter where we're at, we all get to be a part of this. And so, yeah, all the gifts continue to keep coming. So just want to share that with you and thank you.
Thank you so much. Richard.
Morning, everyone. Love us all. Great lesson. When I was reviewing the lesson, I thought the first thing that came to mind was our meetings. Whenever I'm at these meetings, I'm happy. I smile more than I do. Usually, I'm just happy the whole hour we're together. And so, and then I heard you speak, Cindy, about being in the store and smiling at people. And I remember that's one of my hardest lessons because I was conditioned as a male of the species. I only was shopping to get something. I walked in, I found it, I walked out. That was it. I wasn't in there chit chat or smiling at people or being one with anyone. I was in there to get something. I got it a lot. And so I'm having a whole new experience of loosening up. And when I do it around other people, I have to make an effort to smile because I normally, that's not my way of being. So, and when I do, I find that I get all these rewards because the people open up. It reminded me of my third wife, and she was the kind of person, we'd be shopping and we'd be in line to check out. There may be 5 or 10 or 15 people in line. I'd be moaning about how long is this going to take? I'm wasting my time here. Well, let's hurry up. Stop all this. My wife, and she was talking to the woman in front of her. Next thing I know, they knew where they were born, well, they knew where they lived, they knew where they bought their clothes, they were friends of friends. I said, what? Well, this was a whole new world for me. So I'm still learning that lesson, but so I love us all.
When I'm being me, I talk to everybody all the time. When I was in the hotel last weekend, there was this couple getting on the elevator. Made me so happy. They were so happy. It turns out they only live about, and this is why the conversation started. I heard them say we drove 8 hours to get here, which was about the same distance. They live within a half hour of me. And here I was there for my niece's wedding. They came down to surprise their daughter, their future son-in-law set it all up. He proposed last weekend and he had it. So he proposed, and then her family and his family were all there to help with the celebration. So, you know, some would call it being nosy. Me, I just love, when I am fully who I am, I'm so madly in love with people, I can't stand it. Like everyone, right? And so it was so fun celebrating their joy, you know. And then we were coming, we were leaving the beach and coming back to the same part of the world. And how cool is that? All right, we've been together 61 minutes. For those that can come and listen to the guides at 3, that'll be fun. We're getting together 3 times tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern for training wheels, at noon for 12-stepping, and then at 6 o'clock to just get together in preparation for our half day. We have an idea of what's happening, and we'll talk about it, and we'll get your input and stuff. So that's what I got. I'm going to stop the recording. Man, I love us.